IITs and foreign universities. And finally, the department is successful in bringing the semiconductor and the embedded system industries to recruit its students for internships and placements. The list includes the Max Linear, Texas Instruments, Synopsys, Analog Devices, and Linear Technologies, Basic Network, MosChip, Epitronics, Proxilera, IIT Madras, 5G testbed, IIT Hyderabad 5G testbed, and etc. But we are only at still an initial phase of learning of our big journey towards achieving world-class standards in terms of placements, internships, research, innovation, entrepreneurship, etc. And these are not exaggerating. So these all shall become true if we continue our developments with the pace which we are currently working, and we all are committed towards it. And we are exploring the opportunity to enhance and advance our technical potential of students every day and every second. As a part of our roadmap to achieve the above, the world-class standards, we came up with IoT Grand Expo, and this is the first edition of such event. In this edition, the students of Department of ECE has come up with the 200 plus working model prototypes. More than 600 student participants were there in this expo, from engineering first year to engineering final year. These prototypes are on IoT-based applications related to healthcare, environment, or home automation, support systems for specially able persons, etc. And the RISC-V process on FPGA gaming process, analog VLSI projects, antennas related projects, 5G communication process, etc. For all 200 plus teams, the department identified and assigned mentors from the alumni of our HUKT fraternity. And the jury members for the IoT Expo, Mrs. Ramakrishna Molpuri, Charita Molpuri, Dhananjay Gatre, DVR Murthy sir, so visited all our projects and they gave us solutions with which will accelerate our developments towards achieving our objective. And the session on Insights of Machine Learning, which is delivered by the Chakravarti Jada sir, faculty in electrical engineering, who also did his micro masters in data science from MIT. This which enlightened the students' perspective towards AI and ML. We also wish to contribute to the society by taking the knowledge of electronic sciences to nearby schools and developing a scientific temper among the young brains. As a part of this, we invited school students to visit our IoT Grand Expo. Also, I would like to mention that in our curriculum, there is a mini project on socially relevant issues, where the students shall explore the real-time problems being faced by the rural India and come up with IoT prototype solutions for the same. And who knows, in future we may come up with the products also which solves such rural issues with technology. We hope that industry and academic experts are watching our efforts and developments and will support us in achieving our target. Thanks to the Honorable Chancellor Sir K.C. Reddy sir, Director sir, and special thanks to our Administrative Officer and Dean Academics and Dean Student Welfare who supported to us in doing this. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your valuable words. Now I request our today's chief guest, Shri DVR Murthy sir, to kindly take over the session and address our today's meeting with his valuable words.
Thank you. So, what do you want to talk today? So, you have any specific thing? You tell me. We can discuss on that. Otherwise, in general, I'll cover. Wherever you really feel that some areas where I need to show some light, I will be definitely glad to do that. So, when I asked by Mr. Shyam that I should come for this IoT Expo. So somehow I said immediately yes. So I don't know the reason, but immediately I said yes, I'll come. So because I see these RGKUTs, right, RGUKT, are to my surprise, so because I have not interacted with them, but recent interactions really tells me that there is a lot of innovation talent here. And it also shows, basically, it's not the coaching that typically a lot of people get in the cities. The talent is inherent and God-given. Though people drawn from different villages and maybe most of them from government schools, and if the talent is inborn and given, that is how I think it reflects here. I can definitely say you are nothing less, and you are equally competitive, and you can do the things. I'm not trying to say something to just keep you happy, but this is a fact. I have recently seen the Srikakulam campus, and maybe this is the second campus I am saying, RGKT. Definitely there is a lot of talent that is drawn from different places, especially the rural, and brought in here and shaped very well. And thanks to the faculty and the director for the vision what they have and imparting all that. So having said that, you must definitely feel very, very comfortable and confident that you can achieve something higher in your life. So we achieve something higher in our life only when we choose a path that is of interest to us, or that is passionate to us, which we feel as passion. Passion is something, actually I don't find, always I find this difficult when I use this word passion. Because in the local language, there is no equivalent word. So the only word we have in local language is, passion is pichi. So if anybody finds some other word, please let me know. So people should have some madness for that particular subject. And that's what God gives to you. And college is the place where you discover that madness. Discover the passion in you. And make that as your career. So then only you'll be very happy with your career throughout the life. You will have a very joyful life, provided you're doing some work in the area that you're passionate about it. So for most of the people now gathered here, it is, I think it's electronics. A lot of people are electronics people. Or maybe electrical also, it is there. So to me, actually, there is not much difference between electrical and electronics. Because as an electronics people and from the VLSI industry, from where I belong to, and for the last almost more than 30 years of my career is in VLSI. Both these streams, there is electronics and communication, electronics and electrical. See, both the things, electronics is common. And both of them, in fact, study the same things. Like you were taught in this maybe second year something about the analog electronics, the amplifiers, transistors, diodes, and all those things. And then you move on, maybe the second year, second semester or third year, I don't know, so you will read about the digital, the Boolean algebra, and all the circuits around that. And further down, maybe in the fourth year, so the ECE people take up more subjects on the communication, and the electrical people, they take up more subjects on the electrical side. But the common base electronics is same in both. And in fact, the electrical people continue to do the fundamental components, that is the fundamental components, the R, L, and C, right? So what is electronics? Electronics is nothing but the fundamental R and C components with added diode and transistor. That's all. So like the language has 26 alphabets, the English language, So electronics has 5 alphabets: RLC, diode and transistor. That's it. If you master these 5 components, then you are very good in electronics. VLSI is nothing but a micro version of electronics. So you typically go for small currents, small voltages, small area. So it's a micro. Applying these RLC, the diode transistor, to a very small confined area. And electrical is in fact the other way. This is a macro. That is the higher side of it. Big generators, motors, right? And power generators, distribution, towers. So it's a macro area. This is a micro area. That's all the difference. And in the macro area mostly, if you really see, today also, a lot of that electrical is occupied with the diode and transistor. So the electrical and electronics, as of today we talk about it, they are inseparable. And in fact they are same. And that proves actually in the test what we conduct to take the people for recruitment. I see equally electrical and electronics people, both of them get selected equally. So the advice to electrical people is, don't think that you have to join in a LCT board. You have equally competent to join in VLSI. Right? So maybe embedded systems. So that discovery of what you really belong to, the passionate about item, has to happen while you are in this college. You have 4 years of course, and you'll be studying many things, many subjects, roughly about 20 different subjects. But while studying these subjects, focus and understand which subjects is of interest to you. And when you find some subject is of interest to you, don't leave that. Maybe that's your passionate subject. Focus more on that and choose a company that gives you a career in that particular subject. So it could be LVAD design on the VLSI side, or digital design, or embedded systems, or computer programming, or some power systems, or some signal processing, or some communication. So you need to really understand while writing these exams for different subjects, which one really you are passionate about it. In which subject you got more marks. In which subject some of your friends come and ask you to clear the doubts or help you out. So when they are coming and ask you to help you out, that means that you are good in that. And this is, everybody has to learn on his own and has to evaluate himself on his own, very objectively, to understand really what is passionate. And if you don't do that, and you go into an area which is not your passion, you will not grow in your career. And career will be very, very burdensome for you. You feel it very hard. Because you join somewhere and you need to do something to take care of the family. You keep doing the thing, but you won't find the recognition and growth. Neither you feel happy about it. But that will continue. So, but instead, if you really make effort to understand yourself while you are in college and understand your passionate area and make your career move more towards that, then I think that's what really fulfills your ambitions, your passion and your future and the growth and recognition that automatically comes. Right? So, how will you do that? The question is, how will you do that? So, be innovative. So, I think there are, as I said, there are some methods which you can do. And also, I'll be speaking to some of your people to suggest my methods as to how to really inculcate those things so that there is a clarity that comes to your mind before leaving the college that I belong to this particular subject. and I should choose my career only in this area. You are not choosing a particular job because of its salary, because of the company's position, or because of it's nearer to you, or something else. That should never be the criteria. The criteria should always, whether you are passionate about that particular work that is to be done in that college. Salary automatically will follow. When you are really passionate about it and you contribute, and you are good in that, and you get original ideas in that, automatically you will get the money. Automatically you will get the recognition and pay. So we should never get into that habit of looking at the salaries to join the companies. Okay, so that will happen only when you have clarity in your mind. So what is important is that bring in clarity as to what really you like. So coming to the expo for which I came, yeah, I'm very excited really and very happy. I think I moved around close to 30 stalls and talked to the people. It's really, really good and encouraging. And ideas appear very small, but really they have a significant impact they can generate. At this level, we cannot expect more than that from the students because you have a very limited resources and limited knowledge about what you can do. And what you do, attempt and do is more of some prototype, and sometimes it may be a pure software runs, or sometimes it is some functional things what we have shown. But nevertheless, the ideas and the way things are presented is really commendable effort. And continue to do that. Maybe what we need is something like a project cannot complete in one expo or 1 year. Okay. So typically it needs to be further updated, more things to be added to solidify. So like of all the projects what you have demoed today or last 3-4 days, and maybe the 10 projects from that maybe the college can choose and try to encourage them to continue the work in those 10 projects maybe for the next few years. The people will be replacing, so because finally people anyway will be leaving, so the next year people who gets associated with that, they should take all the know-how and then move on. And even when you start a project, actually it's always better to mix the 4th year and 3rd year students, so that they will take over. And that flow has to continue, that window has to move on. So this will, this needs some cell or research, something of that kind, research cell or something of that kind, where they identify these 10-15 projects and try to see that for the next at least 2 to 3 years, people put more and more effort on that and bring it to a state where it is really demoable and a lot of people definitely like it. And it gets the attention and recognition of the wider world. Otherwise, it just confines to this particular college premises. If you have to get a recognition outside, then I think it needs more and more organized effort. And in my belief, I think at least 10 to 15 projects of that kind can be taken up and encouraged by forming a research cell. So coming to the VLSI, which is my domain for the last 30 years. And I'm fortunate to see right from the days of SSI, the small scale integration, and maybe medium scale integration MSI, and then to VLSI, which is now millions and millions of chips together. So I've seen technologies from micrometer, 25 micrometer, to now the latest around 4 nanometer, right? 4 nanometer, 3 nanometer technologies. So it is too wide, micro to nano. and technologies over 30 years, so fast it has changed. And the size of the chip has reduced and reduced. The power has reduced. And the functionality that is built into the chip has increased by many folds, which I would have never imagined 20 years back. And that's the way technology moved, and because of which I think we are reaping all the benefits. And that's the reason I can see around different projects, so many projects here, because of the technology with which you are exposed. This was not possible when I studied, and hardly anything of this kind, demoing some of the things, putting the things, it's not at all possible. Because of the technology, what you have at this point of time, the availability of different boards, the availability of the open software and the mobile, really made you to come up with different ideas and showcase so many applications. So in these 20 to 30 years, the country has progressed a lot. The technology has progressed a lot. And this generation has all the capability to do, provided you choose and you be in the area of your interest. Not only from your own angle. So typically, any society grows only when the resource, the human resource, works in the area of their interest, of their passion. Without that, we cannot really think of any growth to the society. Okay. So, and also I'm fortunate to see here almost 50-50 girls and boys. So it's really welcoming sign. So when we studied, there is hardly, I think we are about 50 people in the class, and there are hardly 3 or 4 girls. So the ratio is tremendously improved, and it is required. We can't afford to build a society or build a country by keeping 50% of the people without any power, without any participation. That doesn't happen. That cannot generate a good society. In the society, everybody has to participate equally. And it's good that that is happening here, and I can see nearly more than 50% of the girls here. And as I said in the initial remarks itself, the knowledge or the intelligence is nobody's domain. It's a God-given, and it can be given to anybody, anywhere in the world. And it is the opportunity that the society has to provide to that individual so that he grows and he gets recognized. And the society doesn't provide that, then that particular society doesn't grow. So VLSI as a technology is more to do with, at this point of time, multiple areas which hitherto actually we never thought of, we never imagined that IoT space, what we are seeing today. Earlier it was only measurement of some temperature maximum and some humidity, some current and voltage measurement. So measurement of any device which measures is only confined to just very few basic fundamental physical quantities. Now the domains are extended like anything. I can see the IoT is used everywhere in measuring everything. There are multiple transducers measuring different quantities which we never imagined that they will be measured. They are required to be measured. And with that, the transducers keep on increasing and the applications keep on increasing. Okay? And it's a good area, and VLSI is effectively utilizing this area. And you cannot actually see in isolation any of these technologies, whether it's a computer science or a VLSI or something else. All these are got interwoven very closely, and it's very difficult to see even a mechanical chemical engineer or a civil engineer not using computer. not using effectively the tools on the computer for his own work. So every area got influenced by the computers and the communication. So and the VLSI is the main reason why this progress has happened. Without the VLSI, without the chip, and without the software above that, all these things which we are seeing and witnessing and experiencing are not possible. And this is what really a miracle happened for the last 20-30 years. And because I witnessed, I can definitely see the difference. From the areas when I studied, when the times when I studied to the times now I am at the time of retirement, I can see that there is a huge difference which never happened in the human history that has happened, and that's how the whole thing has changed. Okay? So with these general remarks, I think I will conclude my speech. And I am open to question and answers. And also, as I said, I prefer mostly very interactive sessions with the students. I love students actually, and throughout my career I'm always with them, and I continue to be. Even today, I come for interviews, I talk to the students, I take them, and training we will do, and I work with them. So that's how I am. That's my passion. So being with the students is my passion. And even today when Shyam sir asked and I came, that's the only reason, because I just love interacting with the students and working with them. So they keep me young, so I like them. Thank you.
If you guys have any queries regarding the session, you can freely ask. Don't hesitate. No?
Good evening, sir. Sir, in real life, if you make a circuit, then it is very big, sir. If you even want to turn on the lights, we use a battery, resistor and light. It makes very big. But if you come across VLSI, the processor is equal to about 2-3 centimeters. So how these large resistors and capacitors make into that micro level? Challenges faced by engineers to make them big to small.
Yeah. So it's the material that is used.
Yes, sir.
So the material makes all the difference, right?
Yes, sir.
So the resistance is what? Resistance is basically to the flow of electrons, something stopping, right? That's the resistance.
Yes, sir.
So each material has its own characteristic. So if you use the tungsten, it doesn't offer any resistance, right?
Yes.
Copper doesn't offer very less resistance. So that's why tungsten you use in the, right? Because at the same time it withstands the temperature also. So even when I ask, suppose you have to design a 200 micro ohms resistor, people use tungsten. So they wound it and give it, because that material offers very, very less resistance. At the same time, so there are non-conductors which offer very high resistance, like even the silicon and all those things also you take. So the semiconductors, right? So conduct semi, not non-conductor, semi. So effectively it is the material that is used to realize those things, which makes it to realize that much of resistance at a very small area. Okay?
Good evening, sir. Sir, can you share your experience? Since there are many startups evolved with the stream of VLSI and ECE, how are they evolved and how your experience in them? Since you have a great experience in the stream of VLSI and ECE as well. What are your suggestions to the younger generation?
So experience means, I really didn't catch experience means what?
Since you have a lot of experience in the industry, right, sir? Then you have seen many startups evolved in the stream of VLSI and ECE. So how are they being evolved and were they successful? Or what were the suggestions or mistakes they have made? Can you correct them or what suggestions will you give?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for asking that question. Though it appears simple, but it's a deep question. So, last 30 years of my career in VLSI, if I look at it, the Indian industry, VLSI also, like the software, it's more service. Predominantly dominated by service work. Service work, when we say, it is doing work for some other company. So the chip is designed or owned by somebody else, and they give us some work to be done, and we complete that work and give it to them, and in return for that work they pay something. This is what is service. So the whole of India for the last 30 years is more in service. Softwares, especially, software means it's like doing some coding work, some testing work, some QA work, and keep maintaining the products that are designed. So most of the big companies like the TCS or Wipro or Infosys, all of them are into more service. So why this happened? Because the invention of the VLSI or the transistor diode or whatever it is, US is more technologically superior. So there the conditions might have been conduced for USA to come up with taking more risk and come up with new circuits and developing the chips and the software systems, computers. Everything, if you see last 30 years, so more or less evolved or designed and developed in US and then later spread to other parts of the country, other parts of the world. So predominantly a lot of countries got into this service, doing service for the multinational US companies. So VLSI is not different from that. But even when you do service, so you try to learn something in that subject. If you don't do, there is no way that you learn. But at least if you do, then you learn something, right? So it took maybe 25, 30 years for different people to get into this deeper service businesses and understand what is the whole thing, how to do that, how to master that. And over a period, I think people gain experience in understanding these things and reaching to the level where whoever are defining those products to that level, now in India also, people reach that level. And products are possible now. Not only that technologically we are at the same level, maybe other factors also should help to make that happen. And I think we can see a signs of that particular thing, product development happening here, in terms of in software as well as in VLSI. So essentially, we need to come out of this service mentality. Try to, my advice would be for all of you, try to get into challenging tasks. Once you get into a passionate area, you will take challenges. Don't look at the big company or small company. There the life is comfortable, they take care of it, or I get some very comfortable thing to talk about to the people. So these are all not the things that what really you have to worry about. You have to worry about you have to really take challenges and get into those areas where product development is happening. That is the future, and that's where your growth will grow multifold. If you get used to the service work, which is still predominantly there in India, but if you get used to that, then the chances for your growth to be high are very less. So having said that, how will you choose the right companies? Right, that's the question. So limited opportunities at the same time for you, because very few people come and do the things and all those things. But still, if you develop a network with your seniors and to the places where they have gone, and the alumni interaction with the students will definitely help you to choose right companies where the right work is happening for you. They are the people who can guide you. Okay. So my experience last 30 years for some reason is always in product. And though it is a part of service, but at the same time it is an independent IP development. So I am fortunate in that way that, like many other people, I never went into a full-fledged service model. And I always took up the latest standards and developed we call it as an IP around it. So most of my 30 years of service is on IP development. So whether it's possible for everybody, I do not know. But because my passion lied there, and I'm happy with that, so I always stayed with that company and continue to develop the IP. Because I have seen that a lot of people went on to multinationals companies and who worked with me and all those things. And the type of work they do, I know. And I've seen them getting relaxed when they go to the MNCs and confined to very small works, and never getting a full knowledge about the whole chip. And for some reason, I was able to get that. And I continued to, as I said, now I continue to work with the students. I continue to work with the latest standards. And I continue to do the same till I retire. So it is that people have to choose. If you talk about the experience, people have to choose based on their passion into these areas so that your career will grow. Okay? Hope that answers the question. Your question is about what are the upcoming technologies that can influence the future, right?
That can upgrade the current technologies. We are using ICs, and what would be the next step?
Okay. So to me, the upcoming technologies or upgrading technologies or whatever you call. So even if I see today the different things what you have projected, so one clearly stands out is the the AI and ML. So the artificial intelligence has become part and parcel of everywhere. And I don't think we can separate it out. So it definitely encroaches each and every sphere of life. And it is the intelligence that's what we are building into the chips or into the software. And the AI industry is definitely going to grow, at least in my opinion, for the next 10 to 15 years. It's going to dominate the world. And similarly, the ML, machine learning. So a lot of people use that word ML, so but I don't know whether really we understand what is the meaning of ML, machine learning. So it's basically you observe the patterns that are happening, and at this level, so you have an intelligence. So when you observe some patterns, then you update your intelligence. So when you keep on updating your intelligence by observing whatever is happening around, is nothing but machine learning. And if you really look at it, for all of us, it is happening unknowingly. That's how we grow. So if you look back maybe 5 years back and see now whether you have updated yourself in so many ways, yes, you have updated yourself. Not only technology front, even the day-to-day common sense point of it, talking to the people, the way we communicate, all these things, how you learn. You unknowingly you learn. You are a machine. No doubt you are a machine. And I am a machine. So we continuously update ourselves. God has given that skill. The same thing we are extending to a machine. It also is capable of updating itself. And these two are going to stay in the market for next few years. ML is going to be much more longer. AI may have, maybe in my opinion, about 5 to 10 years of peak expansion. And after that, there is likely to be get limited because it's an artificial intelligence. Intelligence is something limited. The learning capacity is something deeper. Intelligence compared to intelligence, the learning capacity is something very deeper. So the ML is going to stay for longer. And maybe I think the IoT space is definitely going to expand like anything. There is not going to be limit to what we today see. It's going to expand, and multiple things will be measured. Multiple physical quantities or different other quantities are going to be measured. So these three areas in the going forward, I see that there is a lot of research will be there, development will be there, and usage will be there. And based on that, lot of applications, development things are going to happen, and they are going to change the way we live. 100% they are going to change in a much faster way than what I witnessed. You will witness a much faster change. Hope that answers the question.
Good evening, sir. We see that India lacks at semiconductor manufacturing. What are the challenges faced by semiconductor industries and future of semiconductor in India?
You asked the salaries?
No, sir. Manufacturing of semiconductors.
Yeah, okay. So manufacturing means literally in India there is no manufacturing. Manufacturing is what we typically call as the fab. So other than a small SCL at Chandigarh, there is no real fab in India. Okay. So the SCL also I think caters to some of the defense needs, and the space needs. So it's not commercial at all. So for manufacturing, typically we go to the world. So like TSMC is the main thing, where they really developed and designed the methods so that all the world people go to them for manufacturing, including US. So it's not that US doesn't have fabs, US has fabs, but Europe has fabs. But still people, why go to TSMCs? TSMC mastered that particular art of fabrication and continuous technology updatement and giving on time as per the schedules at a affordable cost. And there is so much structure that never anything with TSMC we see a failure or a quality issue or a reliability issue. We never see that. So that's the reason the whole world goes to TSMC. So whether it makes any sense for India to have at this point of time some manufacturing facility, not really. So first we need to be very strong in making the products and IP development. So then I think you can go to, you can think of fab, unless there is unless we can compete to the level where what TSMC is offering, there is no point in really going. Otherwise it's an investment, and if it costs more, who will go to India fab, right? So it's like fab is something like it offers to the whole globe. So there is a lot of misconception around fab and India should have fab and all those things. That's not the thing. So if somebody has to establish a fab, it has to compete globally. And it's not that you have a capital market and you can do at any cost what you want. It's never, business never runs in that way. Business always goes to the place where it is cheaper. Okay. So I think that answers the question. So at this point of time, there is no manufacturing in India, and I don't think really it's required at this point of time. If we have to take some more time, unless India itself develops a lot of products, the fab doesn't make sense. In the sense, it doesn't make financial sense.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Vasu, Mike.
Good evening, sir. Sir, previously you said that the upcoming technologies are artificial intelligence and machine learning. Sir, can we implement this AI and ML in VLSI domain? If yes, how can this be done, sir?
Yeah. So they can be implemented in VLSI, yes, can be implemented. But if you really see how the divide between the hardware and software happens, so unless something is very solid and doesn't need to be changed, when it attains that particular status, let it be any algorithm or let it be any processing or whatever it is, unless it attains to the status where there is no further change required to that, it will never be pushed into hardware or VLSI. So because software, you always have the flexibility to change and upgrade, update, and replace with an efficient one when you find a new algorithm that is more efficient than this. So at this point of time, the AI and ML offer all those things, advantages of changes, because they are in the developing mode. So that's why most of these things are pushed onto the cloud. But maybe after some time, some of the things get freezed. That means this is the best algorithm I have for AI. And this can be now pushed into hardware because there are not much changes that can I see in the future. Or there may be some other reasons like security and other things for which you don't want to keep it in the software and you want to push it onto the hardware. So like that it can happen, but at this point of time, the chances of that getting pushed maybe I can say maybe around 10% of them over the next few years, 10 to 15%, not more than that I can see pushing into the VLSI. Because these are more algorithm dominated and they need lot of compute power, and the evolution is still happening. So when evolution is happening and lot of new things are happening around that and new applications are getting developed around that, so I don't see a thing that it gets pushed into the hardware. Okay?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have a doubt from where I started in engineering. So my doubt is technology nowadays technology is evolving so rapidly. So up to what extent the technology is to be advanced? So my question here is the technology is evolving in such a way that it focuses on ease of access and to reduce the human power. So my question is, up to what extent the technology is to be developed? So by developing the technology, are we making humans a lazy persons, or is there any, as an industrial aspect, what are your views on this?
Are you lazy compared to me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll answer the question. Thank you. So up to what level the technology progress can be there? That's the fundamental question, right? So I don't think that's in our hands. So it's like something is set in motion and it runs its course. So the way the breakthrough happens, the revolution happens, when it happens, we never know. And that's the way the diode transistor, when they were invented, people never thought, okay, it will be of this much of revolution. But an invention happened, a revolution happened. And then that has set the motion, and that motion is continuing. It's very difficult to say when it stops. Very difficult, you don't have control over that process at all. And it may stop. So because if you really go to the history, so there were revolutions from the Stone Age to the Iron Age to something of that kind, right? Different ages. Ages means basically that particular tool, what they used, is effectively used, and whatever is its limit, when that limit is reached, that age continued only for some time. Till the time next revolution happened, next invention happened, which set forth another age. So presently now we are in the computer and communications age, because that revolution is set. So having said that, presently if you really look at it, it is 3 nanometer, 4 nanometer technology, right? And silicon is the wafer what we are using. And people definitely know that they cannot go below 1 nanometer. That means more or less we reached the dead end in this particular technology when using silicon. So then what people are trying to do at this point of time? So the research is continuing, and we don't know whether there will be another breakthrough. They may go for another material other than silicon, which can offer a lower technologies than 1 nanometer. Or they may come up with some other different methods. We are not sure. So at this point of time in the industry, instead of going further down to the technology, because 2 nanometer, 3 nanometer, these are all very costly affairs at this point of time. So people are trying to see which they developed earlier in different technologies, like they might have developed something in 12 nanometer or 22 nanometer. And those chips, how to connect them on a wafer. So that's what we call as basically, it's like interlinking different wafers on a single advanced wafer. Like a 3 nanometer wafer you take, but you interlink the chips. So basically people call that as a chip-to-chip interface. So but the chips are all on one substrate only. That means the output is not going out of the chip. So within the chip on the substrate, people are trying to transfer the data. So the moment data comes out, then the speed reduces. But if it is on the substrate, I can transfer the data at maybe 100 Gbps I can transfer if it is on the substrate. But if the same thing comes out, I may not be able to achieve even 10 gigahertz rate. Okay. So presently people are going more towards that type of things where they're connecting different chips within the substrate and trying to communicate from one chip to another chip. Like a PCI communication, it doesn't have to come out. Within the chip it communicates. So the PCI historically suppose 64 Gbps, you can communicate at 640 Gbps within the chip. So that is how the speeds and the processing power and all those things are increasing at this point of time. So because they are going to reach this 1 nanometer, the other methods of effective increase of the processing power have come into play at this point of time in the industry. So whether it continues in that way for some time, yes, it may continue in that way for some time. And meanwhile, some other breakthrough may come, yes, may come or may not come. I'm not sure about it. So it is the revolution that's what is set in. It only has the answer to that. It's very difficult for anybody, any engineer or any scientist to tell what is going to happen. Okay? It's a good question.
Thank you, sir. And previously you have addressed passion has no match words. So I have one word, sir. It's called grit. The power of passion and perseverance. It's actually a book, sir.
What is that?
Grit. G-R-I-T.
I want a Telugu word.
Power of passion and perseverance.
No, I said there is no Telugu word equal to passion other than pichi. Yes. I wanted a Telugu word for passion.
Pattudala. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you asked about actually another word, lazy. I don't think it made lazy people. It made them think more. Always we have this fear when new technology comes that okay, we lose jobs or we are jobless. You know, even people also talk about when AI is there, ChatGPT is there, we don't have jobs. It has never happened in that way. As the technology is increasing, things are increasing, progressing. Many people, in fact, more people get jobs. More people have work to do. It is always on the increase side. They have never seen the decrease side. So it doesn't make people lazy. So it makes them more active.
Good evening, sir. So, what would be the suggestion for a student who would like to have a startup? From where we can should start? And I would like to have a suggestion, especially in finance management.
Financial management. So startup in financial management, that's what you're asking?
A startup in semiconductor industry itself. So, the student, what are the suggestions will you give to a student who would like to start a startup? And what is the financing thing he has to manage?
I got it. So a student want to start a startup. Yeah, good question. So sometimes it may appear when I say no, so discouraging thing. But my opinion always very clear. As I said, no, as a student, you have an option to know about multiple subjects, right? And choose what you are really passionate about it. I think that's what we discussed, right? So even the passionate subject, so suppose say you have taken embedded systems, you are passionate about it and you are doing something. and you may be developing a prototype, and you may be showcasing something that your idea and all those things. But at the end of the day, when you make a product that should be sellable in the market, if you don't sell, then you cannot make money. So whatever is the investment you make in terms of the financial and your time and other things, if it doesn't get returned, you get thoroughly disappointed. Right? So anything what we attempt should definitely lead to success, or at least there is a chance for its success. Industry is something which is there since ages, and industry is the one which develops products that work. Whatever, see today you are using mobile, you left and right, you throw it here and there, still it works. The PC is what you do, it works. Okay, so the fans, lights, anything, it works. Why it works? Because there is enough of work done by the industry to make it to reach those production standards and methods employed such that it is rugged and useful to the people. And consistently it is useful without giving any problem to them. This means that everybody after studentship, he has to definitely work in industry for some time. Without gaining that knowledge and gaining deep into the passionate area, what you are good at, getting the practical understanding of that area, attempting any startup may not be the right thing to do. You can definitely do those things at a later point of time. Because the moment you have ideas, see what drives you now to start a startup? Because you think that you have great ideas, right? If you have great ideas today, you can have them after 4-5 years also. Market is never closed, market is always open. Today what is the hurry? Unless you learn the thing fully and then ensure that what you attempt is successful. And thinking that this is the only idea I have, or I will not get some more ideas later, is wrong, totally wrong. A person born with ideas continue to get ideas. There is no dearth of ideas, there is no dearth of business. And anytime you can do that. But the basic qualifications for doing that we need to learn. Without doing that, it's not really it leads you to a successful entrepreneur. So that's all is my advice.
Thank you, sir. That clarifies a lot of things.
It's a nice weather. I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm thankful to you, sir.
That's truly an honor and a great privilege for all of us to have an opportunity to listen to your highly skillful and inspiring words, sir. That's truly an informative and interactive session with you, sir. Let's give him a big round of applause. I request you to remain on the stage for the prize distribution ceremony, sir. Have a seat, please. So we are all set to commence the distribution ceremony. Let's celebrate the hard works put in by each and every one of you for the past couple of months. So I want all of you to give big round of applause for yourselves for all the hard work that you keep on putting for the past couple of months. Right. So I request HOD onto the stage, please, for the prize distribution ceremony. May I now invite Dean Student Welfare, Dr. B. Venkat Rao sir, onto the stage, please. to invite the Administrative Officer Pradeep Kumar sir onto the stage, please. And now it's time to announce the position holders, and the first position goes to the project titled Customized Processor Based on MIPS Architecture Using FPGA. Can we have you onto the stage, please? Please give them a big round of applause. I request today's chief guest, Sri DVR Murthy sir, to distribute the certificate to the position holders, sir. Congratulations to you guys. And the second position goes to the project titled Wireless Communication Between FPGAs. Can we have you guys on the stage, please, along with your mentor? Give them a big round of applause.
Okay, sir.
Congratulations to you all. And the third position goes to Bandgraph Reprints and ASIC Design. Can we have you guys onto the stage, please? Along with your mentor.
Chills.
Congratulations to both of you. And the fourth position goes to the project name Designing of 5G Microstrip Patch Antenna. Can we have you guys on the stage, please? Congratulations to you. Please give them a big round of applause. And can we have the mentor onto the stage, please? Congratulations to you all. And the fifth position goes to Smart Gloves for Deaf and Dumb. Can we have you guys onto the stage, please?
అదే క్లాడ్ బోర్డ్ ఉంటుంది కదా, క్లాడ్ బోర్డ్ మీద డెవలప్ చేస్తారు. దాన్ని డెవలప్ చేసే ముందు బోర్డు పేరు ఉంటుంది కదా, క్లాడ్ బోర్డు డెవలప్ చేసి అంటే నువ్వు కావాలన్నా కొనాలన్నా సరే పేరు సెర్చ్ చేయాలి. క్లాడ్ బోర్డ్ అని కొడితే వచ్చేది కాపర్ క్లాడ్ బోర్డ్.
I request all the dignitaries on the dais to felicitate our today's chief guest, Shri DVR Murthy sir. I would like to invite Chakravarti sir onto the stage, please.
Sir, okay, sir, it's okay. Sir, Chakravarti, sir. Sir, it's on, sir, it's okay, sir.
May I now request Mr. Mohanaditya Sadhanala, the President of IoT Grand Expo 23, onto the stage, please, to present the vote of thanks.
Very good evening, everyone. Here we come to the end of the prestigious activity of the Electronics and Communication Engineering Department at RJ Gate in Uswid. It gives me immense pleasure to stand before you today and express my wholehearted gratitude for your presence and participation in the IoT Grand Expo Edition 1. On behalf of the organizing committee of IoT Grand Expo, I would like to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our Chancellor Sir, our Vice Chancellor Sir, and our Director Sir for supporting this initiation at higher level. I would like to convey our sincere thanks to the Administrative Officer, the Dean Academics, the Dean Student Welfare, Boys and Girls of RGKT in Uswid for supporting this event and providing us with all the required permissions to make this event happen. I would also like to express my wholehearted gratitude to all our expert jury members, Mrs. Sarita Mulpuri, Mr. Ramkrishna Mulpuri, Sri Dhananjay Gadre, Sri DVR Murthy, Mr. Chakravarti Jada, and Mr. Sudheer Reddy. And I thank the outside schools for encouraging their students to visit the IoT Grand Expo. I would like to thank the head of the department, Mr. Shyam Perika, the faculty coordinator of the IoT Grand Expo, P. Vinod Babu sir, Sheikh Karimullah sir, Shivaram Krishna sir and Raju sir, and all other faculty members along with all the lab assistants and staff of the ECE Department for initiating this IoT Grand Expo 23 and supporting the event thoroughly. I would like to thank all the students from E1 to E4 of the ECE Department for their participation in the event. Your support and involvement in this event made it more successful. I would like to convey my honest thanks to all the organizers of the IoT Grand Expo 23 Edition 1 for their active engagement in all the functional activities. Special thanks to Shivshankar, General Secretary of the IoT Grand Expo 23, Mohit Kumar Galla and Tejeshwar Rao, Joint Secretaries of IoT Grand Expo 23, Ramya for supporting the coordination of the projects, Infra Team Manager Sai Ganesh and Kaushik, Veer Babu, Hospitality Manager of the IoT Grand Expo 23. Special thanks to Janardhan and Harinath, Web Development Team,
Graphics coordinators Manikanta and Akhil, Vijay Balakoteshwar, Ramya Charita, technical managers of the IoT Grand Expo 23. Vivek, Lakshman and Vishalakshi for engaging all the registration and technical support. Without you all, the event wouldn't have been happen like this. I would also like to appreciate your sincerity. Special thanks to alumni of the ECE Department, RGKT Newsweek. Your association with the department really helps our students to take the greater steps in the industry. Special thanks to all our final year students who provide mentorship to the projects, faculty mentors and project coordinators. A very special thanks to the Infinity Explorer Ramakrishna Gudivada for accepting upon my request of the support and for enabling and engaging all the camera and media activities. Thanks to PRO Suresh sir and all other media people for posting the updates of the IoT Grand Expo 22 to the news. Special thanks to the Vital sir of RGKTN for the IT support. Thanks to the electricians, housekeeping department and the security department. Once again, thank you all for your valuable contribution and support. We look forward to seeing you in further activities of our department and the next edition of IoT Grand Expo. Thank you.
డిలీట్ చేసుకొచ్చారు.
ఆ చైర్స్ తీసేయండి.
I request volunteers and organizers of IoT Grand Expo 23 for the photo session over here.
ఓకే ఓకే జూమ్ అనేది ట్రైపాడ్ కెమెరా వన్ సార్ ముందు పెట్టండి. ఓకే సార్. మొత్తం ఫోటోస్
Guys, please be seated once.
music.